guys, it's Shadow the Rat, and for today's video, I would like to introduce you to my new girl, Feta. So, Feta here is a Siamese werewolf, and werewolf might seem like a weird thing to call her, but it's actually what her fur type is considered. And it basically means that for the rest of her life, her fur is going to molt on and off in different patterns. So I'm going to show you a picture of what she looked like when I got her last week. You'll see that she had quite a bit more fur than she does right now. And then if we look at a picture of her in like a week or two, she will be drastically different, probably have fur in completely different places again, because that's just how it is with this specific type of fur. I'll probably show you a picture of my senior werewolf Raisin, so you can see what different molts look like on werewolf rats. Although, of course, in Raisin's case, she is a black werewolf. And so the molting looks a little bit different because it's kind of more striking on darker colored fur because rat skin is pink. So if you look at the difference between black fur or agouti fur and pink skin, you'll see that it's a lot greater than, white fur on pink skin. That being said, personally, I think it's really cool that breeders are now working with werewolves with different coat colors. And I think it's going to be really cool to document all the different molts that Miss Feta here has. Because, again, I've never had a werewolf with different fur. Well, I've only had one werewolf in the past, and that was my girl Raisin. And again, she is a black werewolf. But you don't really see werewolves with lighter colored fur, so it's going to be really cool to document the different molts that Miss Feta here has. Now, I do always feel inclined to mention that werewolf is a variety that can sometimes have certain health issues. Some lines can be prone to skin issues or eye issues, so they are a variety I always recommend getting from a breeder, and specifically one who has worked a lot on selecting for health. Now, is it possible to have a completely healthy werewolf? Absolutely. I mean, look at my girl Raisin. She is 2.5. I've had her since she was like 9 or 10 weeks old, and she's always been very healthy. She's never had any eye issues, never any skin issues, and even at 2.5 years, she is still extremely healthy. So I say this because when you get a werewolf, you really do want to make sure they're coming from a good source. Just because if they're coming from a place that's just, breeding them because it's a cool mutation and they think they can sell it for a lot of money, they can potentially be prone to certain eye and skin issues. But again, as long as they're coming from a good source, that is very unlikely to happen. So where did Miss Feta come from? Well, Feta came from a breeder in Georgia, the state of Georgia, that is. Called Sunny Savannah Rattery, and that is several hundred miles away from me because I am in Virginia, and unfortunately I cannot drive there due to my work schedule. So the way that I got Feta was through an animal transport, specifically a small animal transport called Mel's Transport. And Mel is an amazing lady who does transport several times a year, all across the US and Canada. And having now taken part in one of these transports, I just have to say it's a really good experience. Mel's van is amazing. It's really optimized for transporting rodents. Everything's very clean, very organized. Everything's like really bolted in place. I don't know. I was just kind of nervous about using a transporter, especially for such a long trip. And Mel's definitely more than exceeded my expectations. So I definitely recommend using her service if you're in the US or Canada and want to get rats or other rodents transported to you from a breeder that's, not local to you. Now, as far as Sunny Savannah in particular, they actually started out being a dwarf-only rattery, I believe. That's actually what I started following them for. But they ended up branching out into some standards, including werewolves. And these girls in particular actually are distantly related to Raisin, which, as some of you might know, is my senior werewolf. So I thought that was pretty cool because Raisin is a very sweet rat, and she's also, again, very healthy. So finding out that these girls are, even distantly related to her is really good because, temperament and health-wise, I very much would like Feta to be like her. And yeah, she really is. Like, Feta is super, super sweet. She's very outgoing. Literally the day I got her home, she was eating treats in my hands, and I was easily able to pick her up and move her around. She was coming to the cage door right away. She's just a really, really sweet rat. And she's also really quick at picking up tricks. She's honestly a kind of ideal rat for me. I absolutely adore her. And I've already started doing some training with her. She's learned several tricks. She's just a really amazing rat, as is her sister, who I have not mentioned yet. I will do a video specifically on her sister. A lot of you probably already know who she is because I did post her name and her, self on several other social medias, but I did want to do a specific video about each of these girls. But anyways, yeah, working with Sunny Savannah was a really great process, as was working with Mel's Transport. So all in all, a really good experience. I would definitely recommend people going to Sunny Savannah, and I also recommend Mel's Transport, again, as a transport service. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better experience. This was just a really great experience, very straightforward, getting rats. Yeah, the girls are just so sweet, just so confident. It's just really great to see. And that's honestly one of the things I really like about going to a good breeder, is that you get that really confident, playful rat from the start, which, don't get me wrong, you can absolutely get that with a pet store rat. For example, you know, my girls Crumb and Cracker, they're pet store stock rats, and they are extremely friendly and always have been. But you can also find the opposite, like my girl Sonic, she was skittish her whole life, or my girl Blackberry, who was extremely human aggressive. These things are more likely to pop up in pet store rats or feeder bin rats, or rats that are being bred, you know, without health and temperament in mind. And while they are still quite rare in rats from pet stores and feeder bins, thankfully, you are definitely more likely to have a good experience with your rat's behavior and health if they come from an ethical breeder. And especially with varieties like Werewolf, where they can sometimes be prone to certain health issues, it's just a good idea, in my opinion, to get them from a breeder. But yeah, I'm very happy with my new girls. They're super sweet, and I can't wait to show you more of them in the future. So yeah, that is it for now, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!